Chat, here we go. We have what I believe is a brand new match that has never happened before. Chronic versus Nwpo. Chronic playing well against Wavy. So we put him in about as tough of a match as you could give him. Nwpo has been on his ones game as Chronic gets around the irritable bump. We've dropped him into a yellow ping match for both of these guys. Nwpo got probably the worst, KSA match or KSA server that we could give for him. But Chronic said this is the best he's ever gotten on EU. 112 for him. Sorry, I'm holding it up because it is important. A nice irritable bump for Chronic. But that's the ping we're dealing with. Now, everybody is going to be hopping into chat all game long asking, what's the ping, what's the ping? And I just held it down for 20 seconds, so you guys need to hold it down for me now, right? When someone comes in, you got to let them know what the ping is. But Chronic able to get a crazy save on an irritable bump to start the game and then got one of his own. So a good start for him. I would say he comes in as the underdog, especially playing on this away server, something that Nwpo is very used to doing. And if you've had them play on same ping, I think it'd be a fairly equal match, and it still might be slightly in favor of Nwpo. So that the fact that it's an equal ping match would probably be favored to Nwpo means it is certainly expected that he would win today, at least if you asked me. But I wonder what chat says if you ask them. They say 63% Nwpo. That's probably about right, as he gets a reset and a second goal. Somebody in chat earlier was saying that Nwpo's loss to Zen has everybody down on him, but he's actually insane. He had a couple of losses as well, a loss to Atto and a loss to Toxic, but both those players are top players, so it's not that much of, a negative to your resume to lose to them. But it's certainly no resume like Zen had just a couple months ago with wins against just about everybody. Chronic into a wall to air dribble. We're going to see a lot of wall to air dribbles between these two. So he tries to pull off to get a 50. Nwpo challenging from the ceiling. Chronic forced to flick as Nwpo chases him down. But we see, we're just going to see a flick into the top left. I thought we might see a double jump bump of some sort, but when Nwpo swings wide onto the back wall, it leaves a bit of a window open. Chronic will take advantage of that. Nwpo, air dribble, reset, drops it in. He actually took a fairly straight line on this too, so I want to watch it from Chronic's perspective to see what he was thinking here on this pre-jump. He just thought it was going to go lower, I imagine. It's really hard to watch what people were trying to read when it goes to the replay and it does that like slow-mo and then speed up thing. Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it makes it harder to see what somebody was expecting. Nwpo, the demo, wants the air dribble. Chronic attacking with force, respawns and immediately pre-jumps it. It doesn't do a floating pre-jump, which are much harder to get away with. Instead, an attacking pre-jump, which are two very different types of pre-jumps. Well, we saw Daniel experimenting with pre-jumps kind of first on my stream. They were definitely of the floating variety. Pre-jumping, almost flying away from the play, trying to get the offender to toss it into you or maybe give up on their dribble. I do think we've seen a lot more and almost a more success of the attacking type pre-jumps. As soon as you close that distance, give him less chance to make any adjustments. Nwpo, man, he's a magician on the field. And it's second nature to dribble the ball. So much separation, but he flies back and gets a first touch reset. Scoops it into the net. Just a kickoff from Chronic. Catching and cutting towards the orange net. Forcing the save, and man, the Chronic needed to recognize that he was beat a lot earlier. He thought he could get away with sticking around and backflip challenging the ball, but Nwpo always had the plan. Tapping it off the wall and saving the flip to push it over the top of Chronic. Undercutting Chronic now. Trying to run away with it here a little bit. They were knotted at 3 apiece, but it's 3 straight for Nwpo. Put it up 6-3. How long is Nwpo still banned? Nwpo is unbanned at the start of the next season. Assuming that they run the seasons exactly how they do now, it'll be, the start of the fall split. But you never know. Well, I do think they found a great... Wow, what a shot. They found a great, method for RLCS. I'm not sure that 3 straight years of the same format has ever happened before. Maybe the original format had probably 3 years. But even then, they would add additional teams and changed it up a little bit. So if they don't change the format at all, it'll be very interesting. I know everybody's begging for another MENA team to get SSA at majors. If neither one of those things happened, people would certainly be scratching their heads a bit on why not. Nwpo, one of the reasons why out here people are begging for an additional MENA spot. Next, and new server. Okay, sounds good. It somehow got worse for both of us. That's too bad. I'll end it here for the sake of the overlay, which likes to have finished games. But we'll find another server for game number 2. .108, Chronic's gonna take it. 108-88 on this new server. Nwpo up 1-0. Chronic wins the first kickoff. Ball to air dribble, fakes the musty, and Nwpo is able to cover it all. Still make his way back down to the save. Chronic letting the ball bounce off the back wall to start his counterattack. What a save from Nwpo. Chronic's flick was going to be crossbar down, but Nwpo's in and out of the net. He wants to do it again, so Chronic just goes low! Nwpo! How did he save that still? I thought that was the freest goal for Chronic. I was like, oh, you made a big mistake, Nwpo. He can read you like a book. He's not going to go high when he sees you going in and out of the net, but no, Nwpo finds a way to get back down and still make the save. My goodness. The magician, exactly. We talked about him being a magician on the field. Well, he's done it again. Now he's up into an air dribble. The way he's playing, you got to expect him to score. Nwpo. He was, before he was banned, looking like the best player in all of MENA in RLCS. That's right. Even with the Falcons winning every regional, Nwpo was putting his team on his back in the process of trying to steal one off the Falcons. Chronic not going to be able to get his first goal. Decides to send this one off the back wall. Right into Nwpo's hands. Nwpo the demo. Not going to be able to corral this in time before the respawn. What a great shot from Nwpo. Oh my goodness. I mean, he might as well have corralled it before the respawn, as he gets the early resets and then fakes the musty to get Chronic in the air. Chronic jumps trying to stop the flick. That wasn't the plan. The plan was to launch the wave dash shot on the landing. And it's a 2-0 lead. Nwpo. Another one! Oh my goodness, all the slim margins are going his way. It looks like Chronic might be able to save this one. Able to pick up a pad. Maybe just put himself a little bit to that right post from Chronic's perspective. He landed, had to do a little bit extra turning in order to get back and get the save, and that's why he was a couple pixels off of it. Nwpo wins this kickoff, grabs the boost. Okay, Chronic's on the board. It's not going to be a complete shutout. You think Rule 1 will sign Nwpo when unbanned? I'm not really sure. I think Nwpo is a pretty clear upgrade for lots of players on both of the 2 best teams. And so it's tough to say. Do you think the second best team will replace somebody in an attempt to become the first best team. Oh my goodness, Nwpo. The ball is gonna pop, man. I don't think the ball can take the kind of stress you're putting on it. Oh my goodness, dude. Oh man. But anyways, as I was saying, there's two ways to look about it. Either Nwpo is so good that the second best team will replace somebody in order to try and get better, or Nwpo is so good that any team would be lucky to have him. Therefore, the team that will be most likely to get him is the best team. Because in theory, Nwpo probably wants to just join whatever team's the best team. And so if both teams are willing to give up somebody to get him, maybe he'll go to the team that wins the most. So it's hard to say. I'm, of course, hoping that the team that wins the most this next split is Rule 1. Chronic gets a goal, tries his best to slow down the madman that is Nwpo. Okay, but well, Rule 1 will probably be the best team. Yeah, they could. You know, Rule 1 could be the best team after the next split. And so does that mean Nwpo goes to the best team, or does he go to the next best team because the best team wants to hold on to everybody they have? Also, not mentioned is, and is probably very important, is the relationships between all the players. I think that is a much bigger part of roster moves than we ever see. And oh, Chronic, this would actually be a really smart play if he slams it over the pre-jump, but he couldn't get around it. Nwpo also adjusts perfectly after the ball goes over him. Chronic bounce dribble, tight angle hook shot. Ooh, almost rolled it in. Instead, rolled it off the post and scored on himself. What do you think if Nwpo and TRK and Khaled played together? That'd be a really good team. That'd be a good team. You add Nwpo to any position on any of the teams, and that's still a great team. You know, it's arguably an upgrade potentially, based on the way Nwpo was playing when he did get to play in the RLCS. Also, remember when it happened and Nwpo got banned and there was kind of speculation, will he still be good? I think he's still good. I think he's still good. Also, some people thought that he was going to get banned from show matches and stuff too, which I don't know, that never really made sense to me. I never thought about it for a second. I was like, yeah, of course he can still play show matches. It's just, I don't care that he tried to play RLCS when he was underage. He got his punishment for that. He doesn't get to play RLCS now. So that's inadequate punishment. No need to punish more. Nwpo, the use of the empty jump. Get back down to the ground. And he actually can't score this after getting the reset bump. Chronic does enough to make him save it. And then he just launches it into the corner. Wow, he's so quick, though. Not letting Chronic have anything. Such a frustrating player to play against. I wonder if you're a guy like Chronic. I would imagine it would actually be kind of fun. Other than the fact that the ping is tough for him. I know the 108 ping is probably not fun to play on, but sorry, we want to watch this Nwpo reverse dribble to double again. Chronic didn't really pressure it, but it's got to be fun to play players who push the limit. You know, I don't think it's very often that Chronic gets to play against somebody as breakneck fast as Nwpo is. And steel sharpens steel, or iron sharpens. What's the phrase? I'm sure Chronic getting multiple reps against a guy like Nwpo can only inspire even more improvement. But that's all saying that Chronic could still win. We can still see Chronic come back. Just Nwpo has been putting on a masterclass so far. Whoa! Look at this psychedelic car. Oh wait, it's the Falcons decal. I didn't even know that. I was like, I didn't realize this is the actual Falcons decal. By the way, Nwpo heard what you guys were talking about, whether or not he'd be joining the Falcons or Rule 1, and so he went ahead and threw on a decal to let you guys know. The Falcons decal it is. Chronic trying not to fall to the same fate that Evo did. I wouldn't say it's the same so far, when Nwpo and Evo played each other. You remember Nwpo played so well in a best of 7 that he forfeit the final game because he was having so much fun playing and he wanted to just keep playing. He was up 2 in the final game and forfeit it so that he could play one more time. And that one was for a big prize pool. So I think his opposition Evo was willing to try and see what he could do. Nwpo, when he wins, man, it's just he can get out of hand. Chronic trying to dash his way back. Not going to be enough. Chronic a kickoff win. Can he put on a bit of style against Nwpo? Wave dash catch. He had the top right open, but he missed it. Everything bouncing Nwpo's way. What a 50. I thought Nwpo had lost the ball, but like the freak of nature he is, he flips back out and somehow gets a pretty favorable challenge. He's handed this one away. One thing you'll see from players who are getting outsped, Chronic not going to own goal, is that when they do get their rare possession, they'll often rush it a bit. I think we just saw that from Chronic on the previous possession. This is a great dribble, though. This was not rushed. This was him finally buying himself a bit of space with the demo and getting to his spot, which he goes for an air dribble and dunks it in. But when you're struggling to earn possessions against a guy like Nwpo, it can force you into acting irrationally, acting too quick once you finally do get that possession and just launching something lame at the net and losing it. Chronic has settled himself now, though. And he doesn't do that here on this possession either. Takes his sweet time. Nwpo decides not to go in and out of the net like he's made a few saves with. Instead, just power slides and leaves that top left portion of the net open. Chronic becoming a Fennec main. Yeah, that's right. I think Chronic was a heavy octane user and switched right before the major or during the major to the Fennec for a bit. And now is experimenting in a lot more. And who can you not say that about? Seems like almost every player nowadays is starting to dabble in the Fennec before we eventually find them exclusively using it. Chronic throws the nice one, and a nice one it is indeed. You keep watching all these replays, but that's because these are crazy shots from Nwpo. The single jump, or the pop, drives up under the ball, single jumps on the edge of his car as he drives under it to pop it back to the left side, then uses the second flip in order to go crossbar down, then he follows it up and doubles it in. I mean, it's just unreal. And then he leaves a wide open net. No, he doesn't. He actually has the save still. Can he get the follow-up save? He decided to play it more passive, and that will be his downfall. I think he had to just dive Chronic in and out of the net and just hope to intercept it. Sure, he might have looked silly as Chronic popped it over him, but that's better than turning back around into the net. Nwpo, 50, wave dash. Oh, he actually almost teamed up with Chronic to pinch it in. Chronic was waiting for the boost mostly, but tried to long shot. Got a demo. Can he get around this for a shot? Nwpo respawns, but he's going to be forced to play on pads. And what a great challenge. He hides so perfectly behind the ball. This is insane. I mean, watch it again from Chronic's perspective because you can't really see, but Nwpo grabs a couple pads, turns, makes himself invisible behind the ball. Next thing you know, he's reverse challenging and taking it in for a goal. Nwpo double jump into a 50. Now Chronic able to clear this away. Playing from behind again. Tough position to be in when you're behind in the series. Close post flick. Can he get the demo? He can. He needed it. And he got it. So now he's got himself a bit of space. Into an air dribble he goes. Nwpo to the back wall, and Chronic drops it low. Nwpo couldn't decide how he wanted to challenge this one after respawning. Drove all the way out to the midfield before coming all the way back to the back wall. Anyone know what tires? Those are Cristiano's, man. Those are the one items I actually know. I think they're just free now. They used to be part of a DLC. If that went in, if that went in, I don't know. Glad it didn't. Chronic ends up getting the reset, but mostly just using it to fake. Nwpo uses his flip to get back to the ball, and then 50s this down to the ground and has the follow-up. Chronic trying to jump the use of the reset. If he actually did use it, he'd be well-positioned, but instead, Nwpo sees the jump and 50s it underneath. Kickoff goal. Chronic, you can see a little drop of controller after this one doesn't go his way. I don't think Nwpo would have been able to score it if Chronic just left it completely, although it was not going to be a good position for him. Nwpo, that's not going to work. Not much of a fake kickoff at all. He says, my bad. Wait, Chronic says sorry, but it looks like Nwpo just messed up. You know, I don't think there's a gifted goal here. Chronic might misunderstand, but that just looked like Nwpo tried like a new sort of fake kickoff and just drove away from the play and just got scored on. Nwpo can't get the double. 30 seconds for Chronic to get one on the board. $11 boosts to work with. Now just pads to work with. Baits Nwpo in. Didn't get the backflip touch. Probably needed to. Nwpo, he doesn't care what the game context is. He's going to style his way to a win. And he goes to the 50 at the perfect time. I mean, you see him approaching and you're like, oh, there's no way to score. Chronic's going to have every part of the near post covered. Any shot will get saved. But no, Nwpo, he knows what to do. And he knows to just try and play for a 50 in order to find his way in. And Chronic knows that he's been beat. Another 3-0 sweep. All sweeps today. Nwpo taking on Chronic on his away server and taking him down in 3. Rawas just messaged you and said he wants to play Nwpo. Wait, do you actually know Rawas? Or you know Rawas could message me, right?